It's Dave from Amplify, and I'm talking to Johan Längqvist from the band Candlemass. And if you've been alive for the last 40 years, they've been playing music while you've been living. So if you don't know them, go and look them up. You won't be disappointed. So how are you, Johan? Is it Johan or Johan? What do you like?
It's exactly you won in Swedish,
You
but
won.
Johan, you won, yeah.
Do
But
you know?
that's
You
yeah, sure.
start. You got together in around 86, didn't you?
Yeah, that's when we did the first album. You're right.
I was in Sweden in July or August of 86. So
Okay.
around the same time you were starting. And I remember I came out, I was in Stockholm, I came out of a hotel to do some laundry, and the ladies in the square or wherever it was had their shirts open and their bare breasts getting a suntan. Now
Okay.
I'm not sure you can do it today, but you could do it back then. So
Yeah, it's not exactly today actually,
no, not
but
today.
it
Today,
was pretty common back in those days.
a pretty cool place. A great. If you've never been there, people should go up north to just understand what it's all about, because it's a very different place than anywhere else, because it's pristine, and you've got parks and saunas at parks, and the water's clear and all day sun, and it's just an amazing experience.
But we do have a lot of darkness here as
A
well,
lot of
actually.
darkness. That's in the winter. In the
Yeah,
summer,
yeah, yeah.
you can play cricket at night. In the winter, you've got to play cricket for an hour in the middle of the afternoon. If you're lucky, if you're lucky. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd the band come together back 40 odd years ago? What was the origin?
It was pretty much the origin guys that we are for the moment. Janne on drums and Lars on the guitar got in a year later than that on the next album.
Okay.
So Mappe, and Leif, we are the origins from the very first album.
And of course, I read, obviously, you went on a 32-year hiatus. Is that right?
Yeah, you could say so, but I haven't been sleeping under a stone or something. I've been
This wasn't
into
William Tell or something or whatever it was. No, not who
I'll,
was
I'll
it?
be I've been into music all of my life, and I've always had a kind of a small home studio wherever I've lived. So even though I've not been out there playing live that much, I've been sitting in my studio and creating
Okay. So
music.
why the hiatus? Why the break? Can I ask?
In the very beginning, 1986, I had my own band, and that's where my heart was at that time. So, and I told them that it's an honor to make an album, especially back in 1986. But I told them I have to be honest to you guys. I've got my own band. I'm writing music and stuff like that. So that's where my heart is for the moment. So we talked about it, and they said, "Well, Johan, we want you to do the album anyway." So
And
that's
how did you view them while you were doing something else? You obviously saw what they were doing, and they must have come
yeah,
back. They must have come back at different stages and said, "Come on, help us out, do something."
yeah. We've done a couple of shows in the years in between, but and I've done a couple of demos for other singers to help them out, and we've been good friends
All the way.
through all the years. So we are, and
I think
yeah,
I think consciously there's a moment and your collaboration with it. And that's all that exists. And so all the doing for all of us is
yeah,
whatever the doing is. And so if your name's Mandela and they put you in jail, you've got to get used to a jail cell. And so for everything else, there's a story that we all sort of say, wow, 32-year hiatus, because I do lots of interviews and we don't have there might be a hiatus, someone goes for 5 years or something or other, or someone,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
I was talking to what's he from Soane, who came from Epica, and like, he broke from one place because he was going through a period, and he created
yeah,
his own thing afterwards. But 32 years is a long time. That's a long
yeah.
time to.
There's another thing as well, because I had kids pretty early in my life.
Right,
And at 86, I already had two kids.
right.
And then just a couple of years later, I had four. So,
And so you made a choice.
I had to make a living for my family.
Yeah,
And back in those days, you couldn't earn that much
you couldn't.
being on the road.
You can't do it. You can't do it these days either, to tell the truth.
No, yeah, that's the
It's
truth.
pretty hard to do it
Yeah,
these days. Actually, Hugh from the Stranglers was telling me that last year or early this year, whatever, U2 had to put 10 dates on the end of their Las Vegas tour to make a few dollars, and they were like 50,000-seater arenas. That's how expensive it was. So,
yeah,
it's a mad industry for most people, really, because you turn
yeah.
up. It's a great holiday, but you're not gonna become Donald Trump, a billionaire, or anything out of it. That's for sure.
I think most of the people are in this because of the love for music.
Yeah.
It's pure in a way. They're
It,
true and dedicated to this kind of music.
sure. Writing music for other people or singing or something like that, you can make some money, but just performing, it's pretty hard, especially where you've got a band and you've got to
Yeah,
split the return. But anyhow, so you followed them. How would you describe your sound?
the Candlemass sound back in the days.
Or today, but you could also talk about how it relates to the past. But how would you describe your
Yeah.
sound
But
today?
the reason why they called me 2018 and wanted me back was because they wanted to come back to the old 80s sound in a way.
Right.
They wanted to sound more like they used to do when they started the
What
band
is
up.
that? Heavy guitar or something or other? What is that?
It's something special about the sound and stuff back in those days. So they just wanted to go back from where it all felt pretty new and exciting. So I don't know, maybe they felt that they've just moved on and took all the modern stuff that you have these days and
Didn't like it.
yeah, no, Leif, at least he didn't like it at all. So he wanted
Yeah.
to come back to the
Right.
roots in a way.
Well, I think to some degree, that's another example of bloody who we are consciously. We get caught in a conditioned process to be something, and the further
Yeah,
up the ladder we get, the more we want to
yeah,
jump off a bridge. And so
yeah,
they call it dying to be or reborn. You got to die to be
yeah,
reborn, and I suppose that's what
yeah,
you're
for
saying.
sure.
So they were
Yeah,
happy to go back, and it gives them another 20 years. So they're going for
yeah.
30, and you come back, and now they can go for another 20. So that's a pretty smart idea. What about influences? What bands influenced your who are you looking at? Who are you sort of following and all that sort of stuff? Because
Yeah,
bands are collections.
to me personally, in the very beginning, I actually did. I was kind of a punk rocker in the beginning.
Right.
I love the Sex Pistols, and we have a couple of Swedish bands back
Right.
from that time, and David Bowie
Yes.
and Alice Cooper
Yes.
when I was very young. But then
Yes.
all of a sudden, a friend of mine bought Sad Wings of Destiny with Judas Priest.
Oh,
And I think that's the point where wow, this is something
a turning
extra.
point.
And after that, we decided to start up a band a couple of years later. And that's the road I'm on.
Well, no, that's not a bad run. JP's a legend, no doubt about that. Okay, your music, you go on,
Yep.
go on. Speak.
Yeah. Then of course, you know, I found Rainbow and Black Sabbath and Scorpions, and you know the popular stuff. It wasn't the same back in those days to find your heroes. You know, I don't know how many they were exactly, but let's say there were 10, 15 popular bands at that time back in 1986. At least here in Sweden. Now you have thousands of them, so you don't know what to pick from.
But they don't make them like they used to. You know, there might be, when you're talking about popular artists, the popular artists are fine because they're bringing in, you know, jumping around and doing whatever. But when you talk about bands, you know, I think a lot of people will go back 30 and 40 years to remember bands back in the day. Because I ask people, and I'll probably ask you later about favourites, and a lot of them come up with something that goes back, even the late people, that's probably even 70s and 80s and blues artists and Hendrix and all this sort of stuff. So they don't quite make this the same way. You know, Prince, you know, there's not too many people at the moment that stand up that you could sort of say, wow. And so but
you're right about that. You maybe can hear the sound of the vocalist.
Yes.
You recognize the voice in a way, but when it comes to the music, it's I imagine it can be difficult.
They had a story that they've got a documentary on Ted Alberts, who was he started some Australian bands here back in the 60s and 70s, and he was a rich guy, you know, took over his family's business, and he went into music. And he started, he toured the Easy Beats and stuff like that, the early band. And he was after about 10 years, the Young Brothers, they started AC/DC. And that was in 74. And so I was watching that documentary and I was thinking how primal the whole process was and how everyone there was so much great stuff taking place and people unbelievable producers from those days that you know them as today were all working hard together. And I just don't see in today's world, I don't see the same, what would just camaraderie, maybe not camaraderie, the same collection of people. It's not like they were all connected back then. They all knew each other, and the Stones and the Beatles and everyone that was everywhere were all sort of, Whereas today it's just a different thing. I think we live in a more fearful society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, so your music, Black Star, the EP Black Star came out in 25. Your last album that I could see, Sweet Evil Son, was 22, wasn't it?
I just woke up. You may be right.
Well, what are you doing? When's the next album coming out? Is this like?
Actually, we've had a pretty calm first part of this year, and Leif is actually working on demos. So
next year, early next year.
Hopefully, but I can't promise anything because I'm not involved in the. I go there and sing a couple of songs.
Do what you're told.
No. I am a part of this, and we have a really good time in the studio. But some songs you save, some you're not satisfied with, and
are you all together, or have you got people in America and people in Britain and people in Germany, or are you all in Stockholm or all in Sweden?
We're all in Sweden, actually.
Well, that makes it
And
easier.
you know, as you probably know, Leif is the main writer, so
Sure.
he goes to a studio and with the demos, and they kind of making it sound okay, and then they call me to come and put some vocals on it. So that's the way how we work here. We work with Marcus Udell from Avatarium.
Sure,
he's the engineer behind it.
Okay. By the way, where did Candlemass come from? Where did the name come from?
That was a hard question. I don't know who said it the first time. Probably Leif, but I'm not sure. I know that the very first drummer, Mats, on Epicus, I know his father created the skull in a way. So that I know from back in time.
Okay, so talking about Epicus, you're coming out in September, October for a few dates here in Australia, and I presume the Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus is going to get a run then. Is that right?
Yeah, we're actually going to do a lot of old stuff.
A lot of old stuff.
From the first years. Even though I didn't sing on all the albums, I'm going to do the songs.
And how many times have you been you've toured, I presume you've toured Australia before, maybe not, because you're
No, it's the very first time. We've been in Tasmania a couple of years ago. But that's it. You know, it's hard to get a tour.
It's a long way.
On the east side of the world for us. You know, we need to get a couple to make it work financially. So
yeah, I get it.
We've been in Japan and had a couple of gigs in Japan, and Tasmania, only one on this Mofo festival.
Yeah, Dark Mofo. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. But now we've got a couple in Australia, so it's the perfect time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Do you have anything particular you're looking forward to?
I've told the other guys that I've been talking to that I'm a big fan of Australia because of all the wildlife, and I love the people there.
Well, you don't have to, you know, everything in Australia is around the coast. So if you want wildlife, you just go inland and you'll see see plenty of it.
Yeah.
It's like Africa, but we're white and friendly.
Yeah.
Actually, just I remember in Oslo back in '86, they had that. Talking about events, they had that between Oslo and Germany. I think it was a party boat because alcohol was so expensive in Stockholm. They'd hop on the party boat on Friday night and come back Saturday morning, and they just stay on the boat and take a ferry across and a ferry back, and order the alcohol on the boat. And I did that.
I didn't do that boat, and I can't remember anything about it.
Luckily.
But these days, we've got a couple of boats go to Finland and stuff like that. Only
just
dedicated to rock music.
Okay, if you could perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose and why?
That would be Judas Priest.
JP,
would be awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of. Rob Halford was the one that caught me in the very beginning. So, and then of course I found Dio, Tony Martin, and all the other great singers. But Rob Halford.
What do you like most about performing to a live audience? And having, once you answer that, how could you keep away for 30 years?
To me, it's just amazing to see, when you enter a big stage and the people are screaming, and I try to get an eye of pretty much every single one out of the audience, just to have a kind of connection. And it's a privilege to make people happy.
Of course,
and,
of course.
I guess that's one of the main reasons. And
I'd
all
almost
the
say,
love, all the love in the,
I'd almost say a responsibility in some ways, because
yeah,
service is really what's king for your life. You know, if you
yeah,
serve, you probably we realize this as we get older, because we're in pursuit when we're younger and we're trying to find something better. And once you really realize there's nothing better, there's just here, you know, and
enjoy
you've got
what
to
you've got.
enjoy what you've got. Absolutely. So service, if you've got a response, if you've got an ability to serve, so
Yeah,
by making people happy, you should go out and make them happy. That's what I think. Keep making them happy.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Here's some shitty questions to finish off with, because you know people don't like these. They're a bit. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? No, you better watch out because you're touring here. So don't tell us that you killed 3 people
No,
and
no, no.
buried them in the backyard.
I haven't done that many crazy things
You had
on
4 kids.
tour. Yeah, as a kid, you know, I was a pretty wild kid. I used to climb very high up in trees, and we actually had a small cabin very high up
Really?
in a tree once, and I actually fell all the way, but the branches stopped the fall. So I
Unbelievable.
fell for about, I don't know, 10 meters or something like that. But when I came
Unbelievable.
down, I was, wow, this was like being on a roller coaster or something. So I just enjoyed
You
it.
didn't
But I
do it.
was
You didn't
lucky.
go back for a second time, though, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, no, no. What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Yeah. Music is, of course, one of them, but yeah, wildlife. I don't know. It's hard to pick one this fast, but you know,
Politics.
I don't like, what do you say, cold talking. Oh, the weather is nice, and have a good day. I
Yeah.
like
Neither
it
do
more
I.
deep. I like it more deep than that.
Yeah. What do they call that? Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. What's the thing you like most about yourself?
Uh,
Your
my,
goatee's
my
your goatee's pretty cool.
I know that it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing. You know, when I start working on something, I can't let go, and sometimes it's almost killing me. You know, I have to finish it.
Well, that's right.
We've just moved from a house into an apartment, and we had to get new floors and paint the walls and a new kitchen and stuff like that. And I'm working when all the people are gone. I'm still there trying to
In some
finish
ways,
it all.
but I think in some ways that's our generation, because
Could be.
today
Yeah,
you've got AI and you've got everyone a quick answer for everything, and they just get
yeah.
someone in to do something. But we were used to, you know, putting something together or sorting something out. So
Yeah.
okay,
I never count about for anyone else but myself. If I want it done, I have to do it myself.
yeah,
I can't
like you say,
I can't rely on
that's
anyone
good
else.
and bad.
Yeah, that's good and bad, because sometimes it's almost
That's
killing
right.
you.
That's right. That's right. Don't try and operate on yourself when you've got heart surgery. That's probably not a good thing. You probably need to get a surgeon. Finally, let's just get some favourites, all time or current. Favourite album?
Rainbow Rising was. No, I liked Down to Earth as well in the very beginning, and then of course Sad Wings of Destiny and Headless Cross, as Black Sabbath albums. They're awesome.
Yeah, they are.
Especially, I prefer the ones with Tony Martin and Dio, Eternal Idol. Everyone should listen to them and see
How old are you, Johan?
63.
Yeah, so I'm 68. So it's great growing up with them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
We were actually there at the start when they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
putting
yeah.
stuff together, and it's great understanding what they were when no one thought much of them, and you were just
Yeah,
seeing them, and then all of a sudden, they had 30 or 40 years of legend, and so
yeah,
anyone that talks about them from a legend status. And
yeah,
you can recall when they were nothing. I remember seeing some bands when I was like in my teenage years that were support for someone, and they ended up
yeah,
being superstars. And when they were support, no one even wanted to stay in the hall.
yeah, yeah.
They wanted to go somewhere else. But you tell those stories, no one can believe you. Favorite artist?
I must say,
JP.
I really love the old Queensrÿche stuff. There are a couple of
Queensrÿche.
live
Fantastic.
videos. Yeah,
Fantastic.
amazing shows, and he's got an amazing voice,
Yep.
and of course Judas Priest.
Judas.
But I must admit that I almost also like KK Priest these days. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
cool.
He's a really good singer as well. So
Who was that?
I think it's Ripper Owens. They call him Ripper Owens.
Okay. Favorite movie?
KK's Priest. Favorite movie? I would say I'm a romantic guy. Bodyguard. I really love that one. Sorry for that.
Well, no, there's a big story behind it, obviously, because apparently, and he did a eulogy for about 20 minutes. So there is a pretty big story behind it. Favorite place to visit?
I would like to go to Alaska to see it at least for one time.
Take a coat, although you're used to cold up there, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Favorite venue to play?
I must say Hellfest is amazing.
Hellfest is amazing.
Yeah, it's such a... There are places that are this big as Hellfest, but the atmosphere, all the buildings around it, it's amazing.
Favorite food?
I don't know how you say it. Spaghetti and meat sauce. That's
spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But special made, yeah.
Homemade. Favorite,
of course, a good piece of meat.
Of course. Favorite drink?
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic. Oh my God!
Yeah.
You just don't think of a rock star drinking a gin and tonic.
No. I can't drink Jack Daniels, but I do love beer. So it's
lager.
I've had a couple of
lager or draft.
Lager is fine. Any
doesn't matter.
Beer.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Favorite person in history, apart from me.
Apart from you, it's hard to find someone.
No, of course, I understand.
No, yeah. Maybe Nelson Mandela was a great guy. In a way, it's hard to be in Africa doing what he did.
Well, so. I think the thing for us is he basically lived a life after mid 60s, because he was in jail from mid 40s to late 60s.
Yeah.
And then he came out and became president and did a whole range of stuff. So for us, it's a bit inspiring to sort of say it's not all over. We got plenty to do if we want to do it. So it's up to us.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
And you look like you're a clean skin. You've got no tattoos.
Actually, not a single tattoo.
Not one. How did you?
I actually felt like this when people started to get tattoos. That it's not that exciting anymore. Every single person.
Everyone got a sleeve.
It's cool. I think it looks good, but that's the reason why I never got there to get it myself.
That's right. Once upon a time, it was people in the Navy or something particular, and now every single person You see them for 1 minute, they've got a tattoo on their hand. You see them a week later, they've got a sleeve. The whole arm.
Yeah.
But, you get a bit carried away. That's
Yeah.
it, Johan. That's it.
Yeah.
We're
Thank
done.
you for-
We've done it. Have a great tour. It's September, October, yeah?
Yeah, you're right.
3 or 4 dates in September, October. Keep your ears
Yeah.
open for the album that's going to come out before the year 2000.
I can't give you any promises on that
Before the
one,
year
but-
2100.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that I can promise.
For sure. And we'll keep when they do stuff, you can have a look on our pages and you'll find them there. Good on you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time today. Enjoy.
Thanks for inviting us to
Enjoy
Australia.
God's earth over there in Sweden.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
But you've got to go there in July.
Yeah. What?
You've got to go there in July. Don't go there in December.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You'll be inside.
December is depressing, but it creates the good music that comes from Scandinavia.
Possibly. That's true. See you, man. Be well. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.